Good afternoon. Welcome to the 35th Annual Kalamazoo Resa Outstanding Senior Award Ceremony. My name is Cameron Buck, and I have the pleasure of serving as the Director of Career and Technical Education for Kalamazoo Resa. Today, we celebrate the dedication, hard work, and exceptional resiliency shown by our outstanding seniors in education for employment, education for the arts, and early middle college programs. To get started, I would like to introduce Dave Campbell, President of the Kalamazoo Resa Foundation and Superintendent of Kalamazoo Resa, for a few opening remarks.
Thank you so much, Cam. It is such a pleasure to be with you today. I wish we were here in person, but this is the next best thing. So as the superintendent of K-Resa, I just want to congratulate all the students involved in our EFE programs, our career tech programs. I'm proud of your accomplishments. I'm proud of what you've done. It's been a tough year. We know that. We appreciate your resilience. It'll pay off for you in many years to come. I'd like you to know that we are in the middle of redesigning our system of career and technical education, and we are looking forward to someday having a career and tech center, a school that houses most of our EFE programs, even some of our EFA programs. A lot of work going on behind the scenes, but that's really not why we're here today. I just want to let you know that we are hard at work to improve the quality of education for our students and students off into the future. You're setting yourself up well by going through a lot of the EFE programs. A lot of the good jobs available nowadays really are coming out of that realm of career and technical education. So I congratulate you on your good decision making, and just urge you to continue to stay focused in a world that's very distracting. It's a very distracting world you live in. Sometimes I even feel sorry for teenagers, but you are showing the resilience that you will excel through it. As the president of the K-Resa Foundation, I'd like to say just how proud I am of our foundation and our focus of giving scholarships and focusing on the massive teacher shortage. There's a big teacher shortage out there too. We want people to know that and consider going into teaching. It's a very rewarding career. We are growing our own. We've got a scholarship here at K-Resa that we award to our paraprofessionals and support staff who want to become great teachers. And we've got 8 people that we're helping to support to earn their teaching certificate. And we're proud of that. And we just want to let people know that we are doing our best to build a strong teaching force to meet the needs of all our kids. So again, thank you for being here. Thanks for participating. Most of all, students, congratulations.
Thank you, Dave. The Kalamazoo Regional Educational Service Agency, or K-Resa, or Kalamazoo Resa, as you've heard it referred to, exists to transform lives by inspiring educational excellence. It's an honor to be part of this organization and to have the opportunity to recognize these remarkable young people today. I congratulate every outstanding senior here. Your educational journey has been a long one, but it's not over. Your lifetime of learning won't end at graduation, but the skills you've learned in your EFE, EFA, and EMC classes will support you throughout your career. The Outstanding Senior Awards is a collaborative event between many partners, including our local school districts, Kalamazoo Resa, Kalamazoo Valley Community College, Western Michigan University, and more than 400 local businesses. I would also like to thank the EFE and EFA teachers and the many families who have made all of this possible. Thank you all for your invaluable time and energy into the lives of our students. I'd like to welcome Sarah Mansberger, Kalamazoo Resa's Workforce and Community Initiatives Director, to celebrate your incredible accomplishments and share a little bit about the wonderful partnerships these programs have sparked in our community.
Thank you, Cam. I'm so thrilled to be able to speak with you this afternoon. Many of our K-Resa programs would not be the success they are today without the wonderful partnerships we have in business and industry. EFE programs have been in place for more than 35 years, and today we have well over 400 businesses that partner with us. Businesses that are actively involved and participate in the skill training and development of our students on a daily basis. Today, we would like to recognize one of those organizations with this year's Outstanding Business and Industry Award. Every year, EFE selects a business champion who has gone above and beyond to partner with our programs to have a positive impact on our students. And this year, we are thrilled to select Landscape Forms as the 2021 Outstanding Business and Industry Partner of the Year. Landscape Forms is the epitome of an exceptional partner. It's a company that shares our commitment to continuous improvement and to lifelong learning. Landscape Forms has a unique culture that emphasizes growth and development. And Landscape Forms lives into this philosophy by doing things like offering on-site training and certification opportunities to its full-time staff, as well as to our students. Landscape Forms has been a long-standing work-based learning partner for our EFE students, as well as a terrific employer for welding graduates. When students are working and learning on-site at Landscape Forms, they truly feel that they are part of the team. When they're hired, our students are paired with a mentor who works with them directly and continues to teach them throughout their tenure. Landscape Forms even includes students in regular team building activities. We could not ask for a better real-world experience for our students in the workplace, and we are truly grateful for our partnership. We can't say enough good things about all the work Landscape Forms has done for our students. In addition to training opportunities, they've supported initiatives like our Career Chat Challenge video series and Real Careers, Real Talk. They provide guided on-site tours for EMC and EFE welding students. Members of the team have served on our drafting advisory group, and Landscape Forms has gone above and beyond to donate welding supplies to students in need. Landscape Forms truly exemplifies what it means to give back to the community. On behalf of Kalamazoo Resa, I would like to thank Landscape Forms for their deep, multifaceted partnership and all they have done to strengthen EFE in Kalamazoo County. It is my distinct honor and pleasure to present the 2020-2021 Kalamazoo Resa Outstanding Business and Industry Partner of the Year Award to Landscape Forms. Mr. Tony Ide, who is a manufacturing group lead from Landscape Forms, has been instrumental to the success of our partnership and is going to be accepting the award on their behalf. Tony, if you'll please join me at the podium. For all of you tuning in, please join me and you can give a virtual round of applause to Landscape Forms on this award. All right, Tony. Nice award for you in Landscape Forms.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Tony's going to share a few words with us.
Good afternoon. My name is Tony Ide, and I'm a manufacturing group leader over the fabrication side of our business. And it's an honor to accept this award on behalf of Landscape Forms. If you're not familiar with Landscape Forms, we are the premium global brand of site furniture, lighting, and structure. I would like to say a few words about the importance of our partnership with Resa. Landscape Forms Credo, which acts as our North Star, keeps us aligned with who we are, what we do, and how we do it. One of our key stakeholders are team members who embrace the opportunity to learn and grow. Working with Resa allows us to truly live this out by investing in students from the community and not only providing them with a path to develop a skill, but also the possibility of creating a career. Students who apply and are accepted as co-ops are given the tools to be successful fabricators, engineers, and CAD team members. At the core, the biggest impact of our partnership is the opportunity to provide individual growth. When I started with Landscape Forms, I had a fairly good idea of who I was, but my time here has taught me who I could be. From working nights as a material coordinator, fabricating, and now leading multiple fabrication teams, my growth has been a direct result of outstanding leadership, well-rounded feedback, and never saying no when a challenge is out of the comfort zone. So as you enter this next chapter of your life, please remember to take the risk, challenge yourselves always, and get comfortable being uncomfortable. A door may open you never anticipated, and you too can learn not who you are, but who you could be. Congratulations to you all, and I wish you nothing but success on your journey. On behalf of Landscape Forms, thank you.
Thank you, Tony and Landscape Forms, for your commitment and outstanding contributions to these students' education. Today, I'm very pleased to introduce our keynote speakers who made their first investment in their career in a Kalamazoo Resa EFE or EFA program when they were in high school. We'll hear from Nick Tursky, Elemental Media, Jennifer Chicky, Galesburg Augusta, and Kalamazoo and Climax Scott School Districts, Michael Spade from FlowServe. Nick, Jennifer, and Michael are outstanding senior alumni and are here to share their story.
Hi, I'm Nick Tursky, co-founder of Elemental Media in Kalamazoo. I graduated high school from Kalamazoo Central in 2015 and took the Video Production and Multimedia Studies EFA. Being an EFA greatly affected the way that my career path went and my college experience. Being in EFA set me up for the success to be able to go into college a little bit ahead of everybody else who was there. All of the professors that I was with, all of the students I was with, I keep such a close connection with them now, and through all of the conversations that we had, really felt like the education brought me further to the career field. Fresh out of the program, I got an internship because of one of the professors setting me up with it. I worked as a media specialist right out of high school, which then propelled me to get many more jobs in media specifically. Because of the program, I'm well established in the community and have a lot of deep connections with other media professionals in the area. So Elemental Media is a video production house that we base everything in marketing. So everything we do is to give you return on your investment and create something that looks good at the exact same time. We're a video and photo house, and more recently we've just started doing marketing content, so doing ad buys for people and helping actually create the strategy behind it. We established Elemental Media in 2017, and we're a team now of about 5 people. 4 of us are full-time and 1 freelancer who's around frequently. We are pretty prominent in the Kalamazoo area right now, and we work in Detroit, we've done work in Bosnia, we've done work pretty much everywhere. We do a lot in Grand Rapids as well. So you can find us pretty much anywhere in Southwest Michigan. Because of my experience with the EFA, I was ready to tackle the world right out the bat. I never felt more confident applying for jobs that would have pushed me to the next step. And I really felt like I was a step ahead of everybody else out there just because of this program. All of the people, whether it was the staff or the students or everybody, they really helped push everything a little bit further than I could have done if I wasn't a part of this program. So the program really wasn't just the technical side of everything that we learned. Collaborating with the other students really helped create collaboration in the real world. Even just talking with the professors was almost like talking to clients or talking in a business sense. Doing presentations really prepares you to be ready to stand in front of a room of people who you might need to be pitching or selling to, and that really helps push you ahead. When you're ready with those skills, it really applies in ways that you wouldn't even consider otherwise. You think that that collaboration and that close contact with people is just in the arts, but it's everywhere. And even though the arts are a means to it, everyone needs communication, everyone needs the collaboration that these types of classes and programs bring. I really am grateful for the connections that I created through this. There are people who I work with today, still who I met in these classes, and we still consistently build off of each other professionally. Congratulations to the class of 2021. I look forward to seeing where all of you end up in your careers, and I look forward to working with some of you.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Chicky, and I went to Parchment High School, and I graduated from there in 2007. I've since gone on to go into education. I actually taught 6 years at Parchment High School. I was a high school resource room teacher, and my current position is now a special education supervisor for Galesburg, Augusta, and Climax Scotts community schools. So I've really taken my experience from EFE and made it my life's passion. I was in the early childhood EFE program my junior year that was located at Warren Oryx High School. And my senior year, I was in the Teacher Academy or the Teacher Cadet program that was located at Gull Lake High School. My experience with CTE, EFE, EFA impacted me and my career choice by allowing me to get hands-on experience before I really went to college. I knew that I wanted to be a teacher in 3rd grade, or at least I thought that's what I knew. And then being able to really experience the classroom and the different levels, such as early childhood and middle school, allowed me to know that that's really what I wanted to do. Taking the Teacher Academy course and the early childhood course really affected my college plans by allowing me to know that I didn't really want to do early childhood. That's a separate endorsement, and so I knew that I wanted to focus on more of the secondary level of education, and that allowed me to get that experience without having to get halfway through a college program and having to change my mind. My college experience was different from those who didn't participate in a CTE course in our field of study because I had already gotten the hands-on experience. I was able to experience being in a classroom, even teaching a lesson, preparing lesson plans, helping students before going to college. I had classmates that were in our third, fourth, and fifth year of our program at Western and were dropping out because they were just then realizing that the classroom wasn't where they were meant to be. And I already knew going into college that this is what I wanted to do. Well, first, congratulations on completing high school and completing your CTE courses. And really, you know, you've got a world of opportunities out there. Just keep on plugging along. Make sure that, you know, you really talk to your college advisors and know that you're taking the classes that are really going to benefit you. I was in my advisor's office a lot, making sure that I'm taking classes that I really need to take and that are going to get me to graduation with the experiences that I needed.
My name is Michael Spade. I graduated from Kalamazoo Central in 1998, and the EFE program that I was a part of was the drafting program. The EFE drafting program that I participated in high school ultimately led to an opportunity at Kalamazoo Valley where I continued to pursue drafting and design. That also ended up culminating in me obtaining a position at Flowserve where I utilized my drafting skills that I learned in high school and still use to this day. My EFE course ultimately highlighted how I enjoyed drafting and meant that I wanted to pursue that as a professional beyond, you know, college education. I was able to directly show both my college portfolio and my high school portfolio to my current employer in obtaining my position. So I thought it was really beneficial to learn some of those basic skills at the high school level. So having the EFE experience at the high school level meant that I started off Valley with pre-college credits. So it gave me a head start into some of the programs and also towards my degree. Ultimately, I guess that led to a leg up on other students and the basic understandings of the curriculum. And then I ultimately too, I also ended up meeting other students in the program, and we immediately made connections there as well. My senior year, my parents and school counselors highly recommended that I end up taking a block class, which meant that I was able to spend essentially what was self-study time in the EFE drafting program. That allowed me to, I guess, self-create and have self-led curriculum, which I thought was really valuable to myself as far as obtaining a greater understanding that this was something that I really wanted to pursue long term. And then the simple offering from Resa of a $500 scholarship was able to mean that I could take classes at Kalamazoo Valley for the first semester, basically tuition free, or out-of-pocket expenses were covered for me. So that was a great stepping stone for me to get into college, is being able to save up money and work as I went through college as well. So a great stepping stone for me. Congratulations to the graduating class of 2021. I know your parents and teachers are probably extremely proud of you, as they should be. And obviously, me looking back as a 23-year-old alumni now, I can see a lot of pride that you all have in yourselves, and can see a bright future for everyone there.
Thank you, Nick, Jennifer, and Michael, for those outstanding seniors with us today. We hope to see you on these slides and in person in the future as an alumni speaker. Resa outstanding seniors who are eligible for scholarships and World of Work awards submitted their applications to a review committee, who then evaluated the applications on several points, including career goals, student activities, resume appearance, and resume content. All sponsors are listed in the front of your program, and the awards are listed under each student's picture. Enclosed in the packet each student received is an Outstanding Senior Award, a scholarship certificate if they were selected by the review committee, and a very important letter that contains all the information needed to redeem the scholarship. The scholarships and World of Work awards are an acknowledgement of the generous nature of our donors, former parents, educators, businesses, nonprofit associations, and educational groups. These donors see the value of our programs not only for students, but also for the future of our community and economy. When donors started contributing to the Outstanding Seniors, we began with $14,500. This year, our Resa Outstanding Senior donors have generously provided in the amount of $58,500. The Resa Foundation for EFE and EFA is a vehicle many donors choose for contributions. The foundation is dedicated to supporting educational excellence, sustaining Resa services, and developing exemplary and innovative programs. Contributions to the foundation help provide educational support for infants, children with disabilities, students at risk, pre-kindergartners, college-bound seniors, those seeking career and technical education training, budding artists, and job seekers. The foundation embraces all learners in Kalamazoo County, specifically today, our outstanding EFE, EFA, and EMC students. I'd like to take a moment to recognize our World of Work and scholarship donors. Burdick Thorne Foundation generously sponsored 5 student scholarships for a total donation of $5,000. Kalamazoo County Association of Retired School Personnel sponsored 7 scholarships, each for $1,500 for a total of $10,500. Kalamazoo Valley Community College provided 13 outstanding seniors with a $1,250 scholarship for the fall 2021 semester. Many donors have partnered with us for several years, including the Alpha Chapter, Alpha Delta Kappa, Burdick Thorne Foundation, Education for the Arts, Global Clinical Connections, Kalamazoo AMBUCS, Kalamazoo County Association of Retired School Personnel, Kalamazoo Valley Community College, Sue Lignell, Lester Miner and Sue Garvey, Don and Ann Parfett, John and Beth Soyson, West Main Shopping Center, West Michigan Education Research and Development Foundation, Whiteman, and World of Work. The following scholarships are endowed through the Kalamazoo Resa Foundation: Bronson Methodist Hospital and Kalamazoo Resa Gail F. Wormy Memorial, Burdick Thorne Foundation, Tom and Marcia Connor, Irv and Alberta Cumming, Eaton Corporation, Education for Employment Retired Staff, Fabrical Foundation, Walter B. Forbes Aviation, Barbara Hawthorne Memorial, Home Builders Association of Western Michigan, Irving S. Gilmore Foundation, Kalamazoo Resa Board of Education, Kalamazoo Rotary, DQ Hunter Memorial, W. Jack and Dr. Nanette Kaiser, Miller Davis Company, Dr. W. Craig and Diane Meisner, and Gary Rice Memorial. We also have Stairway to a Career, Telecity Information Highway, Robert C. Thompson Memorial, Dr. Robert Vanderroost, Gene Webster Memorial, Larry and Rose Weil, Paul and Beth Swolem, Stephanie Joe Harris Memorial, and Sergeant Lisa Zook Memorial. Thank you so much to all of our generous donors. The main reason we are here this afternoon is to honor the hardworking achievements of our outstanding seniors. These students were selected by their EFE, EFA, or early middle college teacher for this award. At this time, I would like to introduce EFE staff members Diane Fort, Cindy Goss, and Irene Mayfield to announce this year's award recipients.
Thank you, Cameron. Our first recipient is An Abbas. An is receiving a $1,000 scholarship from Whiteman in Career and Technical Education. An will be studying engineering at Michigan Technical University and was nominated by Ken Briggs from the EFE Electronics and Robotics program. Aaliyah Adams is receiving a $500 scholarship from the Kalamazoo Resa Foundation, Bronson Methodist Hospital, and Kalamazoo Resa Gail F. Wormy. Aaliyah will be studying health science at Kalamazoo College and was nominated by Kathy Nyberg from the EFE Professional Health Science program. Courtney Bale is receiving a $1,250 scholarship from the Kalamazoo Resa Foundation, Burdick Thorne Foundation. Courtney will be studying business at Grand Valley State University and was nominated by Amy Meyer from the EFE Accounting and Finance program. Sydney Blinn is receiving a $1,000 scholarship from the Burdick Thorne Foundation. Sydney will be studying nursing at Grand Valley State University and was nominated by Andrea Hudson from the EFE Business Management and Administration program. Morgan Brown is receiving a $500 Education for the Arts scholarship. Morgan will be studying international business and dance at Howard University. Morgan was nominated by Francesca Pilecci from the EFA Dance program. Our next recipient is Clarice Bryant, who is receiving a $1,250 scholarship from Kalamazoo Valley Community College. Clarice will be studying respiratory therapy at Kalamazoo Valley Community College and was nominated by April Rocco from the EFE Teacher Academy program. Aurora Burton is receiving a $1,000 scholarship from the Kalamazoo Resa Foundation, Walter B. Forbes. Aurora will be studying aviation flight science at Western Michigan University and was nominated by Al Holloway from the EFE Aviation Technology program. Samantha Chavez is receiving a $500 scholarship from the Kalamazoo Resa Foundation, Dr. W. Craig and Diane Meisner. Samantha will be studying business at the University of Michigan and was nominated by Andrea Hudson from the EFE Accounting and Finance program. Hadley Kokenauer is receiving a $500 scholarship from the Kalamazoo Resa Foundation, Gary Rice Memorial, and CTE EFE Global Clinical Connections. Hadley will be studying at Clemson University and was nominated by Bree-Ann Tarnas from the EFE Marketing and Entrepreneurship program. Tristan Decker is receiving a $500 World of Work scholarship. Tristan was nominated by Greg Mills from the EFE Computerized Manufacturing and Mechatronics program. Savannah Disbrow is receiving a $1,000 scholarship from the Kalamazoo Resa Foundation, Larry and Rose Weil. Savannah will be studying exercise science at Bemidji State University and was nominated by Laura Kuzmic in the EFE Health Science program, as well as Brian Tarnas in the EFE Marketing and Entrepreneurship program. Our next recipient is Benjamin Earl. Benjamin is receiving a $1,250 scholarship from Kalamazoo Valley Community College. Benjamin will be studying business at Kalamazoo Valley Community College and was nominated by Noreen Hikas from the EFE Horticulture program. Anthony Fagley is receiving a $1,250 scholarship from Kalamazoo Valley Community College. Anthony will be studying product design at Kalamazoo Valley Community College and was nominated by Justin McDonald from the EFE Marketing and Entrepreneurship program. Joseph Fleck is receiving a $700 World of Work scholarship. Joe was nominated by Nancy Knott from the Early Middle College program and is pursuing an Associate's in Applied Science, Animation, Game, Art program. Haley Freilich is receiving a $1,250 scholarship from Kalamazoo Valley Community College. Haley will be studying at Kalamazoo Valley Community College and was nominated by Lori Pelton from the EFE Business Management Administration program. Ashley Garcia is receiving a $500 Scholarship from Kalamazoo Resa Foundation, Kalamazoo Rotary, D.Q. Hunter Memorial. Ashley will be studying at Western Michigan University and was nominated by a TIBA award from the EFE Business Management Administration Program. Noah Gatz is receiving a $1,250 scholarship from Kalamazoo Valley Community College. Noah will be studying business management and entrepreneurship at Kalamazoo Valley Community College and was nominated by Donald Herber from the EFE Work-Based Learning Program. Aiden George is receiving a $500 Education for the Arts scholarship. Aiden will be studying social work at Grand Valley State University and was nominated by Francesca Palecci from the EFA Dance Program. Jasmine Gonzalez will be receiving a $1,000 scholarship from the Burdick Thorne Foundation. Jasmine will be studying accounting at Western Michigan University and was nominated by Amy Meyer from the EFE Accounting and Finance Program. Kira Grant is receiving a $1,250 scholarship from Kalamazoo Valley Community College. Kira will be studying culinary arts at Kalamazoo Valley Community College and was nominated by Karen Shelton from the EFE Culinary Arts Program. Chloe Hetridge is receiving a $1,000 scholarship from the Burdick Thorne Foundation. Chloe will be studying political science at Michigan State University and was nominated by Justin McDonald from the EFE AP Computer Science Principles Program. I will now turn it over to my colleague, Cindy Goss.
Our next recipient is Jeffrey Hogue. Jeffrey will be receiving a $500 World of Work scholarship in welding and manufacturing and was nominated by Scott Wills from the EFE Work-Based Learning Program. The next recipient is Owen Hoover, who is receiving a $1,500 scholarship from Kalamazoo County Association of Retired School Personnel. Owen will be studying aerospace engineering at Western Michigan University or Michigan Technological University and was nominated by Ken Briggs from the EFE Electronics and Robotics Program. The next recipient is Demarian Johnson. Demarian will be receiving a $500 Kalamazoo Resa Foundation, Irving S. Gilmore Foundation, and Memory of Gail Wormy Scholarship. Demarian will be studying fashion design and dance at Western Michigan University and was nominated by Heather Mitchell from the EFA Dance Program. Our next recipient is Jalen Jones, who will be receiving a $1,000 scholarship from Kalamazoo Resa Foundation, W. Jack, and Dr. Nanette Kaiser. Jalen will be studying health sciences and biology at the University of Michigan and was nominated by Kathleen Nyberg from the EFE Professional Health Sciences Program. Bailey Cam is receiving a $1,250 scholarship from Kalamazoo Valley Community College, where she will be studying chemistry. Bailey was nominated by Matt Cam from the EFE Engineering and Wood Technology Program. Our next recipient is Jordan Klimp. Jordan is receiving a $1,250 scholarship from Kalamazoo Valley Community College. Jordan will be studying biological sciences at Kalamazoo Valley Community College and was nominated by Pam Hawk in the EFE Marketing and Entrepreneurship Program. The next recipient is Jason Koch, who is receiving a $500 Kalamazoo Resa Foundation Barbara Hawthorne Memorial and EFA Director's Scholarship. Jason will be studying musical theater at the University of Michigan and was nominated by Deneen Moulay-Koch from the EFA Musical Theater Program. Ava Locke is receiving a $1,500 scholarship from Kalamazoo County Association of Retired School Personnel. Ava will be studying biology at Michigan State University and was nominated by Dr. Noreen Heikes from the EFE Veterinary Science Program. Our next recipient is Mckenna Martin. Mckenna will be receiving a $1,500 scholarship from the Kalamazoo County Association of Retired School Personnel. Mckenna plans to study elementary education at Cornerstone University and was nominated by Beckett Lockerbie from the EFE Teacher Academy program. Noah Milheim is receiving a $500 World of Work scholarship and was nominated by Pamela Hawk from the EFE Accounting and Finance Department. Brendan Monroe is receiving a $500 Kalamazoo Resa Foundation Dr. Robert and Ruth Vander Roost scholarship, studying at Glen Oaks Community College, and was nominated by Justin McDonald from the EFE Accounting and Finance and Marketing and Entrepreneurship programs. Asia Moskalik is earning a $1,250 scholarship from Kalamazoo Valley Community College. She plans to study dentistry at Kalamazoo Valley Community College and was nominated by Jay Olween from the EFE Marketing and Entrepreneurship program. Our next recipient is Darian Mubray, who is receiving a $1,000 scholarship from the Burdick Thorne Foundation. Darian plans to study biomedical engineering at Michigan State University and was nominated by Fahime Baziari from the EFE Conservation Biology program. Tessa Mude is receiving a $1,000 Burdick Thorne Foundation scholarship and plans to study engineering at Western Michigan University. Tessa was nominated by Brad Lang from the EFE Computer Science and Software Engineering program. Brady Nason is receiving a $600 scholarship from Kalamazoo Resa Foundation, Tom and Marcia Connor. Brady plans to study engineering and applied sciences at Western Michigan University and was nominated by Greg Mills from the EFE Computerized Manufacturing and Mechatronics program. Connor Ott is receiving a $1,000 scholarship from Sue Lignell and plans to study culinary arts at Grand Rapids Community College. Connor was nominated by Karen Shelton from the EFE Culinary Arts program. The next recipient is Mackenzie Ott, who is receiving a $1,500 scholarship from the Kalamazoo County Association of Retired School Personnel. Mackenzie plans to study environmental studies and sustainability at Grand Valley State University and was nominated by Fahime Baziari from the EFE Conservation Biology program. Felix Owinga is receiving a $1,500 scholarship from the Kalamazoo County Association of Retired School Personnel. Felix plans to study neuroscience at Michigan State University and was nominated by Robert Roy from the EFE Marketing and Entrepreneurship program. Our next recipient is Audrey Pearson. Audrey is receiving a $1,000 Kalamazoo Resa Foundation Scholarship Lisa Zook Memorial. Audrey intends to study psychology and criminal justice at Kalamazoo Valley Community College and was nominated by Brian Brusosh from the EFE Law Enforcement program. Olivia Pero is receiving a $1,000 scholarship from Alpha Delta Kappa and will be studying marketing and management at Hillsdale College. Olivia was nominated by Jimmy Mullins from the EFE Web Design program. Next will be Irene Mayfield.
Our next recipient is Eli Post. Eli is receiving $1,250 scholarship from Kalamazoo Valley Community College. Eli is studying business at Kalamazoo Valley Community College and was nominated by Janine Patterson from the EFE Marketing and Entrepreneurship program. Sebastian Pratt is receiving a $500 scholarship from the World of Work in Barbering. Sebastian was nominated by Jackie Rush from the EFE Barbering program. Braden Rabansky is receiving a $1,000 scholarship from Kalamazoo K-Resa Foundation, Miller Davis, and CTE EFE, as well as West Main Shopping Center. Brandon is studying to be a mechatronics engineer at Western Michigan University and was nominated by Greg Mills from the EFE Mechatronics program. Samuel Rabick is receiving a $1,500 scholarship from the Kalamazoo County Association of Retired School Personnel. Samuel is studying electrical engineering at Michigan State University and was nominated by Ken Briggs from the EFE Electronics and Robotics program. Andrew Rice is receiving a $1,250 scholarship from Kalamazoo Valley Community College. Andrew is studying environmental law at Kalamazoo Valley Community College and was nominated by Brian Brusach from the EFE Law Enforcement program. Zoe Robertson DeGraff is receiving a $1,000 scholarship from the Kalamazoo Resa Foundation, K-Resa Board of Education, and CTE EFE. Zoe is studying fine arts at Kalamazoo College and was nominated by Kellen Doe from the EFE Art and Design Career Skills program. Amelia Ruger is receiving a $750 scholarship from the Career and Technical Education. Amelia is studying dental hygiene from Kalamazoo Valley Community College and was nominated by Katie Hatfield from the EFE Dental Assisting program. Maximilian Schramm is receiving a $1,000 scholarship from Kalamazoo Resa Foundation, Stairway to a Career, and CTE EFE, as well as Don and Ann Parfett. Maximilian is studying accounting and economics at Indiana University or Kalamazoo College. Maximilian was nominated by Joseph Wenzel from the EFE Accounting and Finance program. Kate Smith is receiving a $500 scholarship from the Kalamazoo Resa Foundation, Eaton Corporation, and Fabrical Foundation. Kate is studying engineering at Michigan State University and was nominated by Janine Patterson from the EFE Marketing and Entrepreneurship program. Trenton Snell is receiving a $1,000 scholarship from Sue Lignell. Trenton is studying sociology at Western Michigan University and was nominated by Brian Brusach from the EFE Law Enforcement program. Rachel Sonnet is receiving a $500 scholarship from the Kalamazoo Resa Foundation, Gene Webster Memorial, and CTE EFE. Rachel is studying biology at La Sierra University and was nominated by Kathy Nyberg from the EFE Professional Health Science program. Ashley Staples is receiving a $500 scholarship from the Kalamazoo Resa Foundation, Irvin Alberta Cumming, and Education for Employment retired staff. Ashley is studying finance at Brigham Young University at Provo and was nominated by Joseph Wenzel from the EFE Accounting and Finance program and Marketing and Entrepreneurship program. Allison Steinla is receiving a $1,250 scholarship from Kalamazoo Valley Community College. Allison is studying animation and graphic design at Kalamazoo Valley Community College and was nominated by Kellen Doe from the EFE Art and Design Career Skills program. Gavin Stevenson is receiving a $500 scholarship from Les Minor and Sue Garvey. Gavin is studying marketing and entrepreneurship at Western Michigan University and was nominated by Amy Meyer from the EFE Accounting and Finance program. Nathaniel Thompson is receiving a $500 scholarship from the World of Work in Computer Sciences. Nathaniel was nominated by Brad Ling from the EFE Computer Science and Software Engineering program. Shay Vaughn is receiving a $500 scholarship from Kalamazoo Resa Foundation, Robert C. Thompson, and CTE EFE, as well as John and Beth Soyson. Shay is studying history at Western Michigan University and was nominated by Greg Chambers from the EFE Marketing Entrepreneurship program. Sierra Ward is receiving $1,500 scholarship from the Kalamazoo County Association of Retired School Personnel. Sierra is studying public health at Western Michigan University and was nominated by Atiba Ward from the EFE Business Management Administration program. Ireland Watts is receiving a $1,000 scholarship from Kalamazoo Ambucks. Ireland is studying human biology at Michigan State University and was nominated by Laura Kuzmic from the EFE Health Science program. Sarah Willard is receiving a $1,000 scholarship from the West Michigan Education and Research Foundation. Sarah is studying medicine at Olivet College and was nominated by Laura Kuzmic from the EFE Health Sciences program. Brendan Wisely is receiving a $500 scholarship from World to Work. Brendan was nominated by Pam Hawk from the EFE Business Management Administration program. Paige Yant is receiving a $1,250 scholarship from Kalamazoo Valley Community College. Paige is studying at Kalamazoo Valley Community College and was nominated by Marina Salinas and Aaliyah Wofford from the EFE Cosmetology program. That is the conclusion of this year's Outstanding Seniors. Congratulations, students. We're so proud of you. At this point, I would like to turn it back over to Cameron Buck for some closing statements.
Thank you, Diane, Cindy, and Irene. If we were in person, this is where we would give all the students a standing ovation for all of your hard work and accomplishments. So congratulations. Before we end today's ceremony, I want to remind all the seniors that the information you need about your scholarship is included in the packet that was dropped off at your home yesterday. If you're wondering what packet I'm talking about and you didn't get anything at your home, please let us know as soon as possible and we'll make sure that you get that information. I want to close the ceremony with some of the stories directly from our seniors. I emailed each of you last week asking to share some of your experiences from your EFE, EFA, or EMC courses. It was great to read through those. Thank you, everybody that responded. A few of those stories that I'd like to share start with the first one from Anna Boss. EFE had the biggest impact on not only my career choice, but also my life. I never thought I would have such an interest in this particular field that I was studying in EFE. EFE has made sure that no matter how many challenges will be thrown at me, I will work my way up the ladder and will complete them. I will ask questions when necessary, and not only that, I will have fun while studying an EFE course. Aurora Burton. EFE is the best thing you can do for dual credit. It gives students the tools they need to succeed, but takes away the stress and isolation of college. Although you still need to be self-motivated, you'll have classmates to motivate and bolster your advancement. Besides that, my peers and I look forward to a smooth transition into college life. With the experience we gained from the aviation technology class, I know we are bound for success. Ireland Watts. My EFE course impacted me in so many positive ways. I have always had an interest in the health field, but by taking this course, I have learned so many new things and now know that I would love to continue to pursue a career in health. Jason Koch. I'm so grateful and lucky to have been surrounded by people who want to bring out the best in me. Every person I've worked with in EFA, in my high school, and in the community and professional environments has always inspired me to be a better version of myself. Whether that's being a better actor or singer or just a better human being, I've grown so much in the environment that I've been so graciously provided. Thank you to everyone who has helped me along the way. Joseph Fleck. Early middle college impacted me a lot. Right from the start of the course, I knew I wanted to be an animator. I just didn't know if I'd actually be able to do it. After this course, I feel a lot more confident that I can. While I don't think I'm quite there yet, this course has definitely gotten me a lot farther than I would have ever gotten without it. I just want to say that I'm very thankful for the opportunity. It's been a very life-changing experience for me in many ways. Thank you for those stories from our seniors. We look at you with great pride as you are our next generation. Families, counselors, principals, superintendents, business partners, and donors. These outstanding seniors express their sincere appreciation and thanks for giving them the chance to have this experience. They are grateful, have felt fortunate, and feel their courses have made a direct impact on their future career in life. Thank you for everyone for attending to celebrate these students, and please enjoy the rest of your day.